Well, folks, you know if I can't show my face, that means stocks are crashing. Yes, stocks are crashing. I've composed myself. I did a live stream earlier, and I was a little off the rails, just to put it that way. I think I even threw down 2 F-bombs in, and trying to never cuss in my videos. I try my best to be on my best behavior. But I was a bit emotional earlier, so I've cooled myself down now, and I want to talk about 3 stocks that are absolutely crashing, and I want to give my perspective on these now that I'm not in an emotional state, and I'm in a state in which I can just talk trash about these stocks. No, I'm just kidding, okay? But anyways, okay, let's get into this, guys. All right, very good food company first up here. So, very good food company just getting absolutely just destroyed. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Down 22% today. It's a disaster. It's under a $200 million market cap. This is a plant-based food company that's been growing revenues exponentially fast. This stock peaked at over $7 a share, okay? Over $7 a share, and here today it's $1.78. It keeps going at this trajectory. We're going to be at 52-week lows here, all right? What happened here at Very Good Food Company, okay? Very Good Food Company decided to essentially stick it to people like me and all the longs. Okay, that's the best way to put it. Very Good Food Company shares were under pressure Friday after the plant-based food company priced a roughly $30 million equity raise. $30 million when you're like a $200 million market cap is a crazy amount, okay? A crazy amount. The stock obviously crashed. Very Good Food said it agreed to a sale to institutional investors of 15 million units of the company at $2 a piece. $2 a piece. That was low. That's literally lower than the stock was trading at yesterday. $2 a piece. No wonder the stock crashed, okay? With each unit made up of 1 share and 1/2 share purchase warrant entitling the holder to buy 1 share at $2.35 exercise price. Proceeds from the offering, which is set to close on October 19, would be used to scale the company's operations, expand its geographic reach and acquisitions. So, where do I even start with this, okay? Like, why does Very Good Food Company have to make this raise right now? The stock has been getting absolutely devastated, right? I mean, it's not like this is some high-flying stock and it's like, oh, everything's so great with the Very Good Food Company stock price. This stock has been getting devastated. A lot of people are concerned, like, does a management team have what it takes to build this into, let's say a $500 million market cap, $1 billion company? A lot of folks are wondering that. And then you go ahead and you do a $30 million equity raise? When you have like a $200 million market cap, run the numbers on that as far as percentage, okay? That's a ridiculously huge raise. And then you don't even come out and really properly say why you're raising this much money. Like, what do you think is going to happen to the stock price? Of course, it's going to crash to the floor. Now, even worse is it's going to turn off massive amounts of long-term investors from this company because they're going to have trust issues with it, right? Now, you hopefully attract some new investors because now the stock price is so dang low, it's $1 or something, right? You'll probably attract some new investors in, but some new investors that will look into it will be like, do I really want to get involved with this? Because who's to say they're not just going to raise another 30 million, dilute me again, right? And not even really give if they're going to do this type of dilution, they should have been out there today and done a full-scale press release in detail on why they need to raise $30 million. Exactly what the money's going toward, exactly what's going on here, because they blew through a ton of money this year, a ton of money. And so now we're looking at a situation that was supposed to be to, expand factories and get all these things ready. And now we're looking and we're like, okay, so this was supposed to be a year of massive growth, which the growth has been great. But as far as growing in the United States, becoming a bigger and bigger brand, like that's where the focus should be, not necessarily on raising another $30 million. So Very Good Food Company messed up in a massive, massive way today by not explaining themselves and just sticking it to folks like myself and anybody that owns a stock and saying, we're just going to dilute you guys into the ground. Because that's exactly what happened. We got diluted into the ground today. I'm down over $25,000. It's not even a big position for me. That's the thing. It's not even like this is like a huge stock for me. This is one of my smaller investments. So when Very Good Food Company is down $25,000 in a day, In a day, you got to be flipping my flapjacks on not even a big investment. It would be one thing if, some major investment of mine like Tattooed Chef or Walgreens or something like that was down $25,000. But for a little tiny investment like this for me, to be down $25,000, $26,000 is inexcusable. And especially when it's because the company decided to dilute us into the ground. And so, oh man, it's just a really frustrating situation. Like I said in the live stream earlier, and I stand by this, I can understand if a lot of shareholders wanted to sell the stock today because of that dilution, because it's so massive. Usually, if folks sell out of a stock, I usually think they're short-sighted, right? In this scenario, I don't blame them because the way this was done by the management team is completely inexcusable. Let's just put it that way. Unbelievably disappointing. Virgin Galactic is crashing today, and then we obviously got to talk about the last stock, which I know a lot of people want me to talk about. Virgin Galactic's down over 16%. I think it was down as much as 20% here today. One of the most volatile stocks you will ever see in your life. This stock's been anywhere from $14 to $62. And look at the peaks and the troughs in this. I think right here it hit about $16, and right up here it hit like $50, $60. Like, it's absolutely insane. And then it did it again here, and now it's back down to 20. Literally, space stock is the craziest stock, pretty much in the stock market you'll find as far as the most epic volatility, okay? Virgin Galactic stock is tumbling because commercial flights won't happen until basically late into next year. The stock obviously tanked over 20% as it announced it would delay its commercial travel services until the last quarter of 2022. Recent material testing returned new data that requires further analysis, the company said in a press release on Thursday, and it will not have another test flight this year. So in a stock like Virgin Galactic, it's definitely very, very run as far as its stock price on short-term momentum and the excitement or lack of excitement at a particular time around this company, right? Because it's not like this company has major revenues at all right now or profitability, profitability. We can't even think about that in regards to this company for who knows if they'll ever get there, right? But it will certainly be a long, long time from now. That's a blow for investors who expected the start of revenue generating commercial operations in early 2022. Wall Street currently projects about $12 million in 22 sales, up from about $2 million of revenue in 2021. Those 2022 estimates are likely to come down. And remember, this company has a $5 billion something market cap, even as of today, right? Even after this massive fall in the stock price, this massive crash, $5 billion market cap and $2 million of revenue? Okay. Basically, this is a quote here. This equates to lost momentum in the space tourism race, given the recent success that was basically had by SpaceX and Blue Origin, wrote this analyst here. Additionally, a general lack of catalysts over the next 12 months could keep the stock range-bound. This guy still has a buy rating with a $50 price target, which was interesting. I'm like, holy smokes, he sounds pretty darn negative, but yet he's got a $50 price target on the stock. And but it's something to keep in mind with a lot of these analysts is if a stock's going up like crazy, they raise their price targets like crazy, okay? And they keep up in them and keep up in them and they keep up in them. And all of a sudden the stock crashes in a massive way, like obviously space stock is done here, right? Where it's gone from here. Maybe he put out this price target somewhere around here, and now it's at 20. Don't be surprised if he ends up bringing down that price target, and all the analysts end up bringing down their price targets on the stock in a massive way, okay? Alrighty, so that's space. That's a very good food company. Talk about Corsair Gaming here. So this stock down 8%. So first off, Corsair Gaming, for this particular stock, 2022 can't come fast enough for the stock, okay? I mean, this stock is just... it's been a tough place for 2021. You had the massive fund that owns a ton of shares in the stock holding it back. You've had short seller attacks. You have a massive short interest on the stock. You have so many worries about the world opening back up here in 2021 and what's that mean for Corsair's business model. You have had headwinds from supply chains. I mean, does it end? Like, literally, does it end? Like it's been just everything bad possible could have come out like this year about Corsair Gaming. It's been a tough year for that stock, needless to say. Now, for somebody that's a buyer of this stock, that's been buying shares and plans to continue to buy shares through the end of this year, as a long-term investor, I can't hate on it. Like it's giving me shares for cheaper, but there's no doubt, like it's been a horrible year for Corsair Gaming. Corsair Gaming. Supply chain problems are creating buying opportunities. Corsair Gaming is in the spotlight today after trimming 2021 revenue guidance. The stock obviously slipped 8%. Yet the reason for the weaker outlook is one of the most common problems you'll hear these days: global logistics and supply chain issues. CEO Andy Paul reflected on the situation, estimating the downward revision in net revenue was due to supply chain issues to be at least, this is key, to be at least 10%. In particular, he singled out the lack of affordable graphic processing units, GPUs, in the retail channel. The guidance has been lowered to a range of $1.82 billion to $1.92 billion, all right? And that was from 1.9 billion to 2.1. So basically they're coming in low end of the range or a little below. The company is set to release earnings in basically November 2nd, all right? Now, my personal opinion on this. So first off, my view on this here is what is the management team going to do? Like truly, this isn't a situation like the Very Good Food Company where I'm questioning the management team and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, your decision making is suspect. Here with Corsair Gaming, I don't feel like that at all. Like, I don't know what this company could do to just make the supply chain issues all go away. This is something every single company is pretty much dealing with, and it's hurting all companies, right? And you specifically when you see what's been going on with GPUs and that whole situation, like, it's going to create a really, really tough situation for Corsair Gaming. And also, Corsair Gaming did give us at least a little bit of a warning on the last earnings call about this. So it's not like this hit us and we're completely shocked by this, right? Because at the end of the day, remember what happened last earnings, right? Last earnings, the next day, the stock was trading in the $24 range, right? And guess where that stock's trading at today? The $24 range. So a lot of folks had thought this was a possibility that Corsair could end up missing numbers or something like that. Now, I'm happy the company got this bad news out now rather than wait. Like, at the end of the day, if you got bad news, just get the news out. And for Corsair Gaming, it's been a disaster of a year. So I'm just like, get all this bad news out in 2021. Let's start fresh in 2022 and move on and get in all of a sudden a good cycle where things start rolling right? This year for Corsair Gaming, it's just been problem after problem after problem. Now we know all the problems. And at the end of the day, here's the thing that I don't understand, right? With Very Good Food, I could understand people want to sell out of that stock because of that disaster that was created there, right? And the suspect moves there. I don't understand why anybody wants to sell out of Corsair Gaming right now. That does not make even 1% sense to me unless you were simply in the stock for short-term reasons and you were hoping the stock price was going to fly up in the short term. Outside of that scenario, it does not make sense even 1% to sell out of this stock, not even at all, right? This is a long-term growth story with two massive growth industries in front of this company. And to sell out of the stock based upon a short-term headwind, I can promise you this is not going to be a long-term thing that's going on. Supply chain issues, lack of affordable GPUs, that will not be a long-term issue. Those things will alleviate. Those things will go away over the next several quarters. And all of a sudden, Corsair Gaming is going to go from a situation where they have a massive headwind they're going into that's hurting profitability to a massive tailwind that's helping the company in 2022 and future years. And so this is a situation, especially when the stock's been beaten down, as bad as the stock's been beaten down, and it's trading at the forward P it's trading at. I'm looking at this stock and I'm like, if anything, this is a phenomenal buying opportunity, in my personal opinion, for long-term shareholders. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you were just hoping the stock was going to do something short-term, it doesn't make any sense to sell out of a company like this one. So that's my personal opinion there. And obviously, I will always want to see my companies hit their revenue numbers or beat their revenue numbers. But in this situation, I think this was truly out of the management team's hands. I don't think there's anything they could have done. Andy Paul's been leading this company for like 100 years, okay? This man has been around the block. He knows what he's doing. If there was anything he could have done, it would have been done, right? And so I literally think this is a situation where there's nothing he could have done in this situation, and so they miss earnings. And so when it comes to Corsair Gaming, at the end of the day, I'm a buyer of this stock. If it's down more Monday, I will be a buyer of the stock. If it's down in any major way this week, I'll buy the stock. Even if it's up this week, I'll buy the stock. Whether it's at 25, 26, 24, I don't really care. 23, I'll be a buyer of shares. Options, I'm waiting a few days to kind of see what happens, because obviously with an 8% move, sometimes options lag a little bit. So I'm kind of waiting on that with Corsair Gaming. I think Corsair Gaming is going to be a huge moneymaker long term for me and for, you know, investors in general. I'm not selling out of that stock. I have no interest. I'm just a buyer, and we'll let that story play out. Short term stuff's going to be short term stuff. The long term story is intact at Corsair Gaming, in my personal opinion. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, if you want to come be miserable with me, come join us in the free 7-day trial of the private stock group. We can talk about in the Discord chat how we used to make so much money from stocks and now we don't make money. Well, you know, I will say 2021 we made a lot of money from Walgreens, made a lot of money from Dropbox. Isn't that interesting? The two most boring stocks I hold, arguably, have been the biggest dang money makers for me this year. And yet, some of these other stocks have just been disaster zones this year. But anyways, guys, that's going on. Check out Bing comment down there. Gotta have some comedy. Gotta have a little bit of comedy on a day when it's not no bueno, okay? Much love as always, guys, and have a great day. Peace.